Hey guys, welcome back. Now, before I start making this video, I'm gonna explain two things. This is both a channel update video slash, this is gonna be the first video of Futurama that I do in a while, but this is also a channel and personal update kind of video as to why I hadn't been uploading videos the past 3 or so years. Again, I want to apologize for that, why I hadn't been uploading for a while. It's not that I didn't want to, it's just things were happening consecutively 2 years in a row, and I also had some stints where I was away for vacations and stuff, so I didn't upload for a while up until that point. And for 2 of those years that I had been uploading videos, I've been trying to get around to them. It's just that there were 2 years in a row I had to deal with the losses of 2 people from both my family here at Day Program and from Rose Inc. and from my immediate family, so emotionally I was a little out of it, so I didn't upload any videos for the past little while because of that, and I apologize. Anyway, other than that, I'm gonna get into the actual video here. This is History of Futurama season 5, episode 4, which is also going to be about episode 4. Now, episode 4 in Futurama is known as A Taste of Freedom. Now, the reason why it's named that is basically the entire plot line of the episode is basically a misunderstanding that Dr. Zoidberg caused. Now I'm going to explain what that is. Anyway, basically the way this episode... Anyway, the way this episode starts off is basically the members of the Planet Express crew basically start dancing, and basically Zoidberg goes like freedom, 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 oi, and stuff, and then basically now the reason why they're dancing is they're celebrating a type of holiday in their timeline called Freedom Day, basically, and Zoidberg is the one that's enthusiastic about it because of he didn't have much freedom on his home planet and stuff like that. And basically what happens is Fry basically joins in on it, and then Zoidberg explains what they're doing as part of Freedom Day. And now that I've gotten to Zoidberg, I'm going to explain a little bit of a plot detail. Zoidberg causes the reason why this episode is called A Taste of Freedom is because Zoidberg causes a he causes the people of Earth to riot after he eats the flag, which is, oh my god, I'm sorry. Now I'm gonna get back into it. Anyway, as I said before I got off on that little tangent there, which I apologize, I just wanted to clarify why the episode was called that, and it kind of also leads into what happens at the end, so I figured I'd bring it up. Anyway, Fry inquires to what Freedom Day is, and then basically Zoidberg and the other members of Planet Express are explaining to him about what Freedom Day is basically whatever they feel they want to do, they can do it. And Bender makes a remark like how he does it every day, and that leads into the funny thing with him because he trips Hermes up. Like, he sticks his foot out to trip Hermes up, and then basically Hermes falls on the ground, but Hermes is okay with it because it's Freedom Day and everything. And so he's like, happy Freedom Day to home. And then basically, the reason why Zoidberg is happy about Freedom Day on Earth is because he never had Freedom Day on his home planet. Now, again, that's going to play into the ending is because Zoidberg comes to a realization, but I'm going to explain what that realization is when I get to the end of the episode. Anyway, basically what happens is they go to this Freedom Day ceremony where President Nixon is unveiling the flag of Earth, basically, and then then they do this thing where the jets fly overhead, and then after that, what happens is he mentions about he makes a bubblegum reference like to Charleston Chew, and then basically he mentions about how in their darkest hour. Oh, now before I continue, I'm gonna explain what Zoidberg does. Zoidberg, in the spirit of freedom, basically eats the flag. I'm just letting you guys know that now since I'm getting to that part in the episode. Anyway, after again getting back into what I was saying before, after Nixon makes the Charleston Chew reference, he basically references the American national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, by saying in their darkest hour they know that they're okay if the flag is still there. So it's sort of similar to the Star Spangled Banner American anthem, which kind of makes sense because it's an American-based TV show, so it's a good reference point. Anyway, but when Nixon goes to look at the flag, he's like, it's gone! And then people realized that Zoidberg ate the flag, and then Zoidberg said that he ate it proudly. And then, because to him, doing what they feel like is the greatest expression of freedom, but then the people of Earth basically get mad at Zoidberg for eating the flag, and it starts with Nixon, and he's like, kill him! Kill the traitor! And they basically chase Zoidberg all the way to his planet's embassy, basically, which is the Decapod 10 embassy. And so basically what happens is Zoidberg hides in there for a while, and he talks with the Ambassador Mervin, and his associates and stuff after they're outside and getting angry, mobbed at him, and basically Zoidberg says he thought he understood this planet, but it seems like he doesn't know much about it, like even more than he does their own crappy planet. And then after he makes the remark about their planet, he's like, oops, sorry. But then Ambassador Mervin basically tells them that it's okay, their planet stinks, they know it, so it's fine. And a female Decapodian basically offers Zoidberg some hot cocoa, and then basically Zoidberg remarks that the ambassador's people are very kind to him and stuff, and then basically what happens is after that what happens is he gets up, um, the assistant brings Zoidberg the cup of cocoa, and then Zoidberg looks at it, and he's like, gets annoyed because it's like, what? No marshmallows? Anyway, and then basically Bender comes in as the Freedom Train, knocking people away and making the excuse of it being Freedom Day, and he's free to do it and everything. And then basically, Leela is trying to explain to Nixon, that they may be angry at Zoidberg for eating the flag. They may even find the fact that it's inside his stomach to be offensive. But the right to freedom of expression is a part of the Constitution of the American people. And then basically, that's when Nixon goes like, oh, maybe so. But I know a place where the Constitution doesn't mean squat. And he basically means like the Supreme Court. So he basically takes it into the American version of the Supreme Court's for judgment for what he did. And basically, what happens is the people, the judge and the justices basically accept the trial, and then there's a stint where basically Fry, Bender, and Leela are looking to find a lawyer to represent Dr. Zoidberg for his case, and then because Fry mentions that, and then basically Leela says that she'll, and this is the funny part about it. When they're doing that segment of the person that they're gonna ask first, which is the head of the ICNU, he's doing a song basically dissing Zoidberg basically because he ate the flag and stuff, and then he ends the song by saying "Kill Zoidberg, everybody," and then basically, which I find a little ironic because Leela wanted to get him to represent Zoidberg. I just find it a little silly in this case because he just finished singing a song where he was mad with Zoidberg for eating the flag, and then basically, oh my god, basically, where he ate the flag, and then basically she wants him to represent him after he did that. So that's what I mean when it's kind of stupid, but it's also kind of silly in an adult way. Anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, that's when they come upon this. That's when this old man basically shows up, and then he explains that he'll take Zoidberg's case, and then basically, Fry wonders who he is because he calls him an old man, and that's the funny thing about it. The old man's name is actually Old Man Waterfall. He introduces himself to them as Old Man Waterfall. He tells them his name's Old Man Waterfall, but people just call him Old Man, and then basically Fry being kind of an idiot, I don't think it's the fact of him being an idiot. I think he just has I think it's partly because of the Delta brainwave thing. Like, he's kind of stupid in a sense, because he says he'll never remember that, and basically, Old Man Waterfall basically tells, speaking of Old Man Waterfall, before I continue, I'm just going to explain something about him. The Waterfalls are a subfamily in the Futurama series, and what I mean by they're minor characters, and they do show up from time to time in the episodes of the show. Like, for example, hold on, I'll show you. And,
You done now?
no, I'm not done. In season 2, episode 18, the problem with poplars. The reason, sorry, I had to do that. I had to look the episode up because it's been a while since I did season 2, and like I said, I haven't done videos for a while, so my memory is a little foggy. Anyway, so I had to look them up. Anyway, the reason why I mention that is because another member of the Waterfall family basically shows up in the problem with poplars episode. Free Waterfall Jr. basically, that's who he is. And then basically, now getting back into the actual storyline of the actual episode I was on, the people of Earth have the hybrid chicken representing them, and then basically, before the trial starts, basically what happens is Zoidberg is brought on a video monitor for his trial because he's at the embassy and stuff, and then basically Fry's asking him if he's okay, and then basically Zoidberg says that he's not okay because there's no cocoa marshmallows and everything. It's something else about something else that bugs him about it, and then Bender starts laughing, and he's like, court's kind of fun when it's not my ass on the line. I'm sorry. I just have to laugh at that because that's freaking hilarious. To him, court is fun as long as because he's not the one in the courthouse. Because Bender's the one in the series that causes the most trouble for the Planet Express crew. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. I just wanted to get that giggle fit out of the way there. Anyway, basically the justices basically are telling Zoidberg of his crimes, and then basically Zoidberg explains that he tries to defend himself by saying, I was doing freedom of speech, Earth's most sacred right. And then basically the hyper chicken lawyer, that's the prosecutor, basically explains to them that freedom of speech has to do with what comes out of the mouth, not what goes in it, which technically in this case is true. It's true because freedom of speech has to do with what you say, not with what you put in your mouth. But, again, like I said, that's going to play a funny part in the ending of the episode. Anyway, and then Old Man Waterfall basically, comes to Zoidberg's defense, and he basically tells the justices that he's not a well-respected lawyer like his city folk opponent, but he cares about the planet just as much as Zoidberg does. And then he shows him his hand, like he's like asking them if they see his hand, and they say yes, but he tells them no, because the hand that he has is actually a kind of a artificial hand, because apparently, according to him, he lost his hand in an incident long ago, and then basically it was an incident that had to do with the flag and stuff, and basically what happens is he explains that it was everything, and then he mentions about if he was up to him, he would raise a flag of his own. Of course, if he hadn't raised a flag made of his own skin and stuff. And then basically he explains that he cared about the flag so much. And one of the things he cared about the flag so much about it was he cared about it more than he cared about his second wives. And then he comes to admitting that he's what's known as a polygamist, basically. And then the people basically boo him for that, because polygamy basically is one of the things that people, I know it's weird, but it happens. Anyway, after hearing both Zoidberg's lawyer and the hyper chicken lawyer explain their cases, the judge, Myrtle Fool, and the associate justices basically decide to confer using high-speed telepathy. And then after that, basically, Myrtle Fool tells them that by a vote of 6-3, they deem that flag eating is not covered by within the constitutional right. And then they sentence Mr. Zoidberg, and then basically they tell Zoidberg, like, the court issues an official apology, and then Zoidberg thinks that they're apologizing to him, but then because he's like, first he's like, apology accepted, just don't let it happen again. Anyway, but then Hermes explains to him that the one who's supposed to apologize is him, not them. And then Zoidberg gets mad at them and like that. He's like, me? Apologize? Never! And then he explains that he came to this planet because he thought he knew what the true meaning of freedom was. So he still stands by what he did. So he basically tells them to do their worst, because nothing could be worse than denying him his freedom. And then Myrtle Fool basically said that she sentences Zoidberg to death, basically. So basically they kill him, like, cook him, and then basically what happens is she also explained that also, in a rare double whammy decision, the court finds polygamy constitutional. And then basically, Old Man Waterfall is basically happy about that. And he's like, I can't wait to get my husband. And then the people boo him for that. And then basically what happens after that is Zoidberg is still hiding out at his planet's embassy after the trial fails. And then basically what happens is the next morning when the Earth forces basically come to take Zoidberg in so he can face punishment for his crimes to die, basically, they bring a battering ram to the door, and then Ambassador Mervyn gets a little shocked by that and upset because he's like, stop! This mud is sacred mud of the mud planet Decapod 10. Invading these mud premises is an act of war. And then Zapp Brannigan in this episode basically, oh, now that I got into Zapp, I'm just going to mention the next episode I'm going to do for this, which will probably be next week and everything, or sometime within the next week. Anyway, I'm gonna start laughing when I do the next video. I'm just giving you guys a heads up about that, and I'll show you what I mean when I do that video. Anyway, basically, Zapp basically tells them, so what are they gonna do about them banging on the door? And then basically Ambassador Mervin's like, you wanna see Mr. Big Shot? And then he contacts his forces on Decapod 10, and he's like, he tells them, attack Earth! And then this is the funny part about it. What happens is after that, oh my god, I'm guessing his forces on the other end basically are a little annoyed about that because that's a long ways away from them. Like, because basically the next thing Ambassador Mervyn says is, yes, I know it's a schleck. Just do it! And then basically, oh my god, I just remembered something. That's when his forces show up, and then I'm just gonna reference something here. You know that old saying, the shoe's on the other foot, and stuff like that? Well, Zoidberg basically does a rendition of that, where he says, aha! Now the rubber band is on the other claw! Oh my freaking god! I am so sorry, but that's just freaking hilarious! Rubber band on the other claw, it's like the shoes on the other foot. Oh, okay, that's enough of a laughing fit. Okay. And then basically the people of Earth and Zapp's forces are fighting the Decapodians, and it's actually because of Zapp's stupidity why the Decapodians defeat them, because basically what happens is while they're fighting, one of the Decapodians disguises himself as one of the members of Zapp's crew, and Zapp gives them the command codes to disable their defense grid, because he thinks he's a member of his crew because he's got the same uniform. But it turns out, but then the Decapodian that's in disguise basically takes it back to his boss's ship, and then basically gives it to them to deactivate them. And then basically, this is the part of it that's even more really stupid. After Zapp makes the blunder with that, what happens is when Kif realizes what's happened, he's like telling, sir, the defense grid has been shut down. Perhaps the Decapodians got the disarming code somehow for their defense system. And then this is the part of it where I think that it's most stupid. Rather than Zapp admitting that it was his fault, he's like, well, Kif, stand by to take the blame right now. And then basically, with the people defeated, basically, the Decapodians basically enslaved the people of Earth. And then basically, Leela talks to Zoidberg about how can he talk about loving freedom after he's enslaved the Earth and stuff, and then he mentions about their planet doesn't know what it means to have freedom when they don't until they realize what it is to not have freedom. And then after that, they basically plan to revolt against the Decapodians. So basically, Fry takes them to the museum, and he tells them about back in his day they didn't have their fancy laser gadgets, but the people of his time and so on and so forth still managed to kill each other just fine. And then that's when Bender picks up the weapon that's the crossbow, and this is where he makes the reference that's actually mentioned in that I'm gonna reference the Futurama Game of Thrones game here because one of the card collectibles has to do with the crossbow. Anyway, and basically when Bender picks up the crossbow, he's like, the crossbow, a ruthless killing machine, the Bender of the 16th century. And then he basically causes the crossbow to go off and shoots himself between the eyes. Oh my god, I'm sorry, but that's just hilarious. And anyway, so they basically use the weapons to basically fight back afterward, but not until after, after Ambassador Mervyn basically explains to them the fruits of their labors as slaves, and he reveals to them the quote-unquote mobile oppression palace, which is basically this giant crab with the sand on top of it. So that's what they were having them build. Oh my god. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just so silly for them to be doing that with... Oh my god, I'm sorry, but that's hilarious. I'm calling it the mobile oppression palace and making it like a crab. I mean, I get it because they're lobsters, so lobsters, crabs, different kind of sea creatures, tomato, same thing, but it's still rather funny that they make it look like a crab instead of a lobster. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Anyway, Fry and the others try to fight back using the weapons that they procured from the museum, but it doesn't work out, so they basically run away, and then basically what happens after that is, Old Man Waterfall basically tells them that he's taking his stand with old Freebie, and they may be able to crush him, but they won't be able to crush his spirit. But then the palace slams a claw down on him, and he's like, "Oh, my spirit!" And then basically what happens is after that, Old Man Waterfall's great granddaughter basically gets upset with them for hurting him, and she mentions about the mental bureaucracy, and then basically that's when Zoidberg gets shocked that Ambassador Mervyn hurt his lawyer, basically. And this is the part in the episode where Zoidberg basically has a change of heart because of that, where he says that, is it possible that all of this terrorizing is smudging up their freedom lesson? And then basically what happens is after that, that's when Zoidberg comes to the defense of the people of Earth, to stop his people from oppressing them. And basically what he basically does is he takes the flag and Bender's cigar from it and basically lights the flag on fire, and then basically Fry is explaining that he's even more shocked that he's doing that because he thought he was cool, and then basically Zoidberg basically defends himself by explaining to them, "Wait, people of Earth, listen, yes, I'm destroying a flag, but to preserve the freedom it represents, which in this case is understandable if he's defacing it to preserve the freedom the flag represents, then burning it with the cigar to destroy the mobile oppression palace is a good enough reason. Anyway, after the oppression palace is destroyed, the people thank him, and then Leela basically says that she feels like she could stand to hug him. She could, but she doesn't want to because of him being a sneaking monster and stuff. And then people start praising him for what he did, and he's like saying that if only people treated him this well on his own planet, and that's when he comes to the realization that this is his own planet. And then basically what happens is President Nixon has Zoidberg unveil a new flag to replace the one that he defaced in order to save them from the Decapodians. And then basically what happens after that is one of the reporters asks Zoidberg to bite the flag for the news, and then he's being a little defensive because he doesn't want to deface the new flag, but Nixon assures him that he can do it because he earned it with saving them. And he's like, well, maybe just a nibble. So he takes a bite into it, and he's like, that's a grand old flag. And then he raises the flag that had the bite mark in it up, and he's like, I wonder what the flag of Italy tastes like. And then basically that's where the episode stops. So if you guys like this video when I post it, which I am going to post it now, just please give this video the real best you guys can, and leave a like and comment, and if you get the chance, I would also like it if you subscribe to my channel and stuff. And again, I'm sorry I didn't upload any videos for a while, for 3 years, because of that, and that's why this video is long, is because it was a channel update video slash history of Futurama video. But anyway, that's gonna be it for this video, guys, and I'll try to make the next video a little shorter. But until then, guys, have a nice day, and like I always tell you with the Futurama series, fun on a bun!